I'm Tasha. I'm the owner of Comena Designs. We're here again today at the Sloan Canada shop to teach you all about upcycling and chalk paint. So in today's video, we're going to be teaching you all about painting fabric. So this is actually a seat from our last video, the stenciling video, and we're going to paint this old white like we did with the stencils. So why fabric painting is actually really cool is you can do it yourself at home instead of having to go and get a piece reupholstered, which it can sometimes get a little pricey. You can do this all with just some paint, water, and a brush. Essentially what we're going to be doing here is actually just dyeing the fabric. So let's get started. With this piece, it is an old suede piece. So the products that you're going to be using is a spray bottle, a container of water, whatever color it is that you're going to be using for the project. We're using old white. Again, we used old white in the stenciling video, so I'm using the old white so it matches. Have your paint opener and a paintbrush. Oops. So let's get started. You're going to take the spray bottle and spray the entire piece, not so that it's soaking wet, just so it's damp to the touch. Now that our piece is damp, I'm going to open up the paint. And I need a stir stick. Can I have a stir stick, please? Thank you. Okay, and then you're going to use a little bit of paint. Less is more. You want to start with a really thin layer and build from there. So first, you're going to dip your whole paintbrush into the water. Okay. Now you're going to dip the tip of it in your paint. And now you're actually going to dip it back into the water. And then you're going to just gently put it on. So it's okay if it's not even at first because you're going to go in with a second coat later. And you're doing really, really thin coats because again, we're dyeing the fabric, not painting the fabric. If you feel like you have too much paint on the brush, that's no problem. Just take off the excess either on your mix mat or you can wipe it on the side. So it might look a little streaky at first, but again, that's okay. Don't panic. We're going to go in again once it's a little bit dry on the second coat. So when you're doing a second coat, you want to make sure that it's mostly dry. It doesn't have to be bone dry, but you don't want it to be sopping wet still when you start on the second coat. So you can actually achieve quite a few different things when you're painting fabric. Today, again, like we said, we are dyeing the fabric, so we're using a very, very watered down paint. But you can actually paint a fabric so that it's really thick. And what that does, once it's dry, you wax it and you're actually going to turn it into a leather. So there's a couple different things that you want to know when painting the fabric. You can actually blow dry it, but we do suggest air drying it. So if you're using a blow dryer, the hot air can actually affect the color slightly. So it's better to air dry the piece. You can also, I wouldn't suggest this for painting fabric, but you can actually use Sloan paint and do a thicker coat, and then the hairdryer can actually crackle the paint as well. But you want to kind of avoid that for this process. And we're finished. I'm happy with the way that it turned out. I'm going to leave it and let it dry. That's all for today's tutorial. All the items that we used are going to be linked down below. And make sure to check us out on all of our socials, the Sloan Canada shop. And that's it. Bye-bye.